Hey everyone, and welcome. As you saw from the thumbnail, it's prediction time. What predictions? Well, again, as you saw, WrestleMania Night 1. So yes, this will be uploaded, well, it'll be uploaded either Thursday or Friday. It'll go live Saturday, the day of Night 1 of Mania. So we're going to go over all the matches. There are 7 matches in total for Night 1. And as you've seen in previous videos, yeah, we're going to go over them. And I'm going to give you all my predictions. So, let's get to the action. And we're going to start with the first match listed. Alright, so, as you just saw from the little header beforehand, match 1, or at least the first match that is listed. Don't know if all these matches are going to be in this exact order, but first match listed is a 6-man tag match as The Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, with, and as a tag team partner, IShowSpeed, take on the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, with L.A. Knight, yeah? You know, if any of you guys saw one of my Monday rants, if not, please take a look. It'll be right here. Take a look. I hate, despise Logan Paul. I absolutely cannot stand the Paul brothers. The fact that he is in a wrestling ring and on Mania disgusts me. So, you know, Austin Theory, I got nothing against. IShowSpeed, I mean, I know he's a YouTuber, that's it. Danhausen beat him in a foot race, which I'm wondering how Danhausen's going to come into play at Mania, and who will be cursed. I have a couple of thoughts. I know who should be cursed. He should curse Logan. Danhausen, if you're watching, please go to Logan Paul and go, "You are cursed." But anyway, of course, obviously, saying that, y'all know, my pick for match 1 is, I think, The Vision and IShowSpeed, well, they're going to go visit the Uso Penitentiary with LA Knight with the Usos. God, I hope so. Because like I said, I can't stand Logan Paul. So, first match. Let's get to the second. Alright. Match number 2 is the Unsanctioned match, as Jacob Fatu takes on Drew McIntyre. This match, I think, is going to be really, really good. It's going to definitely be, in my opinion anyway, like a strong style type of match. I can see both of these guys going balls to the wall and just having so much fun in this match. I can definitely see some outside interference, especially since it's unsanctioned. But all in all, I mean, who do I ultimately see winning? I honestly can say I think it's going to be Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob's going to take this match and ultimately beat McIntyre. And put this feud to bed. But, we gotta wait and we got to see. On to match number 3. Alright, here we go. And match number 3 is for the Women's World Championship. As the challenger, Liv Morgan, takes on Stephanie Vaquer. This one's a little tough. I want Liv to win. I love Liv. But to the same extent, Stephanie is a great champion. But I don't know, she hasn't really been defending the belt as much as I feel like she should as a champion. Whether that's just writing or something with her, I don't know. So, I mean, personally, I think I'm going to have to go with who I think. And, well, I'm putting Liv over in this match. I think Liv is going to beat Stephanie Vaquer, and Liv is going to become the Women's World Champion. So, as far as that goes, I can see this being the first title change at WrestleMania. So, let's go to match 4. Alright, match 4. We have the WWE Women's Intercontinental title on the line as challenger Becky Lynch takes on AJ Lee. Again, this is going to be another great match, another hard-hitting match, especially with these two women. And, some of you might be sitting there thinking that, Becky's going to go over. They're going to put the title back on Becky. AJ's going to relinquish the belt. I don't think so. I think they're possibly going to keep the belt on Becky. I think eventually what they might want to try to do is something my brother brought up from the last pay-per-view when AJ won the title from Becky. Is I think eventually they want to try to lead to a CM Punk AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch intergender tag match. But, I guess, again, that's something we're going to have to see. But, yeah, so, again, I think AJ is going to retain the Women's Intercontinental title and move forward for a bit as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. So, let's go on to match number 5. Alright, here we go. Match number 5. And for match number 5, we have a fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. You know, I just noticed that pretty much night number 1 is, you know, pretty much all except for one of the women's titles. But it's also the women's title that I think should be on the second night. You know, because it's for the winner of the Rumble. Just like with the men's match, I think that should be the main event for night 2. But, so, fatal 4-way for the women's tag titles. As we have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria taking on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins, versus the champions, the Irresistible Force of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Now, okay, I admit I don't get to watch as much wrestling as I used to. So I really haven't seen much of any of these ladies except for clips on YouTube. But I have a feeling, I know that they're trying to push, you know, with the Bellas coming back, saying they want the women's tag team titles. I don't know. Mania. Perfect place to put the women's tag titles on Nikki and Brie. You know, and I mean, again, this is all just speculation. This is all just my thoughts. But yeah, so I do. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say it. I think the new women's tag team champions are going to be Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins. Let's now ultimately get on match 6. We are almost done with night number 1. All right, match number 6. Almost done with night 1. And we have Seth Rollins versus the Ring General Gunther. So it's funny. My brother and I were literally having a conversation about this earlier. And it's a possibility of what they could be doing with Lesnar. But I don't know. I think it can go a couple of different ways. But I don't know. For some reason, I am going to say this. I do believe Gunther is going to beat Seth. But again, as most of the matches are going to be for Mania, I believe it's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to, again, be balls to the wall. I mean, it's Mania. It's the show of shows. So, yeah. I think Gunther is going to beat Seth. But I think he's going to ultimately, I believe, beat Seth by cheating. Handful of tights or something. I don't see Gunther winning cleanly. But I see him winning regardless. So, I guess there's only one thing to say. Let's get to your main event. Alright, here we go. Main event night 1. And it is for the Undisputed WWE Championship as the challenger, the Viper, Randy Orton, with Pat McAfee, takes on Cody Rhodes. You know, this is probably a match I never saw coming, especially if you go back to the days of Evolution. Definitely did not see this one coming. I do, however, believe that the title is gonna stay on Cody. I don't think they're gonna put the title on Randy. It's just a gut feeling in all reality. I think they're working towards something with Cody. I think they want to turn Cody heel as champion. Not 100% sure, but that's what I'm thinking. Is they want to ultimately turn Cody heel as Undisputed Champion. But, you know, as always, we'll have to wait until tonight and see. So, yeah, that'll do it for night 1 of Mania. You know, again, just to go over everybody. You know, I believe the Usos and LA Knight are going to win the 6-man. I believe Jacob Fatu is going to win the Unsanctioned match. Liv Morgan is going to take the women's title from Stephanie Vaquer. AJ Lee is going to retain the women's Intercontinental title. The Bellas are going to win the women's tag title. Gunther is going to beat Seth. And Cody is going to retain the Undisputed title. So there you have it. Night 1. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as I will do night number 2 of Mania. And let's see if my predictions come true. So, I will see you all tomorrow.